you hear it? Oh yeah, now that's, hang on to that son, sure that size. We'll plant them here and keep picking because we've got some plans for these. Guys, and the cool thing is I've really done nothing for it. I came over, I pulled it out of the ground. Alright guys, Papa Pepper for the Abundant Harvest Homestead. Once again, I'm out in my natural environment, the woods, the wild. And this is one of my favorite places actually to get food because it's free and so much of it is so healthy. It's antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, just amazing stuff. Can you imagine if people actually ate things like that? So anyway, today what I'm dealing with is we're going to be harvesting some wild garlic, and it seems like at the end of June to mid-July here, you have this rare opportunity in some places to come find this wild garlic. And at that point, you can actually just pull it out. The cloves are going to be about fully formed. If you wait too long and you give them a tug, all you get is the stem. And all those cloves are buried down in the hard rock and clay earth here. So I'm out at the edge of some woods here. We used to stay very close to the area I'm in right now. And I think it's the right time. I'm going to check this. Oh yeah. So there we go. It came up, guys. So wipe some of that off. And what there is there's this little cluster. Now I know what you're saying. Oh, I got bigger garlic in my own garden. Yeah, I agree. And you planted it and you cared for it and took care of it. This I've done nothing for. It's sat out here in the wild. The cool thing is, especially if you wait long enough in the year, the top, they're going to have all the little babies for the next generation. So up here, you got this small cluster of all sorts of little tiny baby garlics. And what I like to do is just kind of crush that up and separate all those little cloves. It smells really nice right now. Okay, and some are falling on the ground. That's okay, you know why? All these little guys in my hand are going to be the next generation of them. Here's an area that it does well. You can see it growing already. So I just take these whenever I harvest something and make sure to put some more out there for the future. So now those are planted for next year. And the cool thing about this, there's a number of cool things. One, it's free. One, it's readily available. I should be able to show you some spaces here. You know, here's about 6 of them or so, including the one I picked. But I should be able to show you some spaces here where there's quite a few. But a special thing that I really like about this garlic, besides just being awesome and amazing and free, is you can actually, when you take these cloves off, garlic and peeling garlic can be quite a deal. So now this is all, you know, just the stem. The seeds, well, the baby garlics have already been planted for the next year, and the cloves are now off. If you take a look at those cloves, I mean, they're not too bad. They're pretty good size, especially considering they're just growing here in the wild. But if I take my hands, right, and I just go like this for a little bit, a lot of times what'll happen is they will just peel, which is absolutely crazy. Look at that. It is perfectly peeled right now. There's another one halfway peeled, another one going here. I'm gonna set that down for a minute. And all I'm doing is rubbing my hands together, and that whole outer skin has just peeled off, and I've got a wonderful, beautiful clove. I mean, normally it takes a lot more effort than simply rubbing your hands together to take the husk or the hull off of a garlic. I'll do a little bit of that, last 2, right? So I have put a little bit of effort in here. I have had to walk over here and pull that out of the ground. 5 out of 6 already. There, that guy, look at that. Okay, so if you look in my hand, that peel has just come off. there's the garlic, raw garlic clove. Off of that one there, I've got these 6 little guys. And the cool thing is, I've really done nothing for it. I came over, I pulled it out of the ground, I rubbed my hands together, and I've got 6 beautiful garlic cloves. One thing that we really like to do, especially just to kind of keep healthy, is we will take a jar of these raw garlic cloves and we will fill it most of the way up with it, and then we'll dump raw honey on top of it, and we'll wait about 3 months. And after about 3 months, these taste like candy. All the honey is like infused itself into the garlic. The honey becomes infused with the garlic. It tastes a little more garlicky. These taste like candy almost. I mean, the kids ask for them by name and ask if they can have another one and another one. And I'll just grab spoonfuls sometimes of raw garlic cloves. All they've done is sat there for like 3 months in the honey, and I'll just, shovel it in my mouth like it was cereal or something. They're so delicious, so tasty. And then, of course, to get a jar of them, this is one excellent way to do it, because our investment in buying the garlic is nothing. The effort to sit there and get that many garlic cloves dehulled and get the little, papery husk off is like nothing. You rub your hands together for a little bit and then you've got them. So it's a fun project we definitely like doing, and to be able to have these things so readily available is absolutely amazing. And this year we timed it right. Last year I missed out. A couple years ago I nailed it. Last year I missed out, and actually I could wait probably another week or 2 and still pull this off. But after that, the stem's gonna die. These will be fully formed, and when you try to lift it out of the soil, nothing's gonna happen. So, as we come back here in the woods, I see a number of garlic heads around, and I can see that some of the stems here have already fallen over. They're already starting to yellow, and it looks like if I waited a little bit longer, oh, see that? Just the stem came up. Just the stem came up. These ones are kind of past their prime. They're yellow, they're withered, their seed heads are full. Oh man, this looks like a big one too. Let's see if it'll come. Nope. So that's what I said, guys. Timing is, there we go. Timing is everything. So what we're actually gonna do is harvest a bucket of these, and then I'm gonna show you how we like to store them. Check out this one, guys. I was still able to lift it from the soil, but the end had already fallen off and detached itself, and all these little babies were heading down to the ground. We're gonna plant them here and keep picking, because we've got some plans for these. I love finding other wild edible food out here too, like this greenbrier shoot. I love just, I don't like walking through it. It is like the razor wire of the woods, so anytime I can find it, enjoy some of those high protein plants. Tastes so good, like asparagus or peas almost. And set it back a little bit in its growth, I'm with it. And check this out too, guys. Monster truck found that we were walking under a mulberry tree. That fruit is not ripe yet, but it's there and it's growing. So more food out here in the wild. There's probably some gooseberries up ahead too. Elderberry out here too. So be a bit till they're ripe, but there they are. Kind is that?
DJ.
So down this path, there's a couple of pretty good looking ones. You can see these ones already kind of bugging out. This one's opened now. This outside piece has come off, and all these little guys are ready to go. Pick them just kind of gently carefully. This is one of the areas we were spreading them out the other year, and I see there's quite a few of them out here. This should be good. Oh yeah, look at that.
2.
So monster truck pulled this up, and there was one next to it too. Cool. Put it in the bucket, boy. See what we can get out here. Another one ready to go. Let's see. Can you come? If I waited a little bit longer, I don't think you would. Oh man, that's tough, but I think it's still going to come. I just can't get a grip. I hear it. I hear it. Oh yeah. Now that's... Hang on to that, son. Show that size. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, for free, for wild, that's impressive. That's what we're looking for, right, boy?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, see, lots of people like garlic. Isn't that right, King? Oh yeah, that's tasty. That's tasty. Oh, we don't want the stem. Don't really like the little ones. Let's see. Oh, they nibbled the top off. They reached the top of my black Prince pepper. You guys. Let's see. Yes, you may, son. You want some blueberry? Oh yeah, she likes garlic too. Yeah, guineas. So, this is our haul. And we could have spent more time out there, definitely. But it's getting to be the heat of the day. And it's always good to leave some. I mean, besides taking the larger heads of them, just breaking them up and chucking them everywhere up there to make sure there's more growing in an area where they've been proven to thrive. Not everyone we tried to lift was ready either. So, this... Oh, it's a pretty good haul of garlic. And I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look for some of the best heads right now to show you guys an example. And then you get stuff like this too. So what happened here is if you look at these clusters from the top, when they fall to the ground, a lot of times they're all together. So then what you can have happen is a whole bunch of them start growing together. And this one probably, I'm thinking was actually one last year that wasn't able to be harvested. So you've got all these larger cloves on the outside, and then you've got your bulb here. So those can either be replanted or used as well. But here's some of the bigger. Yeah, I mean, you know, you go to a farmer's market or somewhere else, you're gonna find some really nice big ones, but these are not bad sized cloves. So what I do at this stage of the game is I'll take them, I'll break them off at some point. I'll probably get some scissors, cut these off. I'll give them a good wash, and then I'll kind of take the stems and break them up a little bit so they're malleable. So they're able to be put together like this and then braided. I'll show you guys a bit of that process and see what the finished product looks like. But I'm happy with this haul, aren't you? A good amount. And it's nice to teach the next generation kind of how to take some, leave some, make sure there's some for later, and just enjoy the whole process of finding what's out there in the wild. All right, go get me a pair of scissors. So, after a washing and a trim, got some rather clean bulbs here. Some nice short stems. So at this point, what I like to do is kind of beat the stems up a little bit. Let me make sure all the bulbs are past there. Just kind of make sure they're, like I said, malleable, something to work with. And for the record, I've taken no courses on braiding garlic. I've, never done anything like that. It's just, this is something that's worked for me in the past. It's how we're going to do it now. And even if you don't have a clue, sometimes life works out. So I just start kind of grabbing them. So to get started, I'm just going to grab a cluster of them, wrap them around like that, so they're kind of tied in place, and then separate into 3 places where each time I just kind of begin to braid, and whenever I cross, I just tuck a new cluster up in there. And there's probably some good ways to do this where it'll look prettier and look nicer, but this works for us. It allows these to dry then and us to store them for the year. And then they're readily available for us as well. And of course, with bigger bulbs, you would also have more filler. But these of course are wild. And as in a lot of my life, what I go for a lot of times is practical. This will be practical, it will work. If I want something pretty, I'll just look at my wife. So here's the finished product today, and honestly I just wanted to get it done today because it's hard for me kind of to pause things sometimes and then come back and finish them up. I could have definitely done a better job braiding this. I have in the past, and one thing that I remembered from doing it before is if you actually let them dry out a little bit first and then kind of really work the stems, they really become very fibrous, very malleable, very easy to braid. So it's not the prettiest looking thing, but it definitely does work. And it'll definitely hold them up for the years, for the next year. If we just use it as garlic, that'll probably take us 6-7 months to kind of work our way through, because we've still got some other stuff too. So it'll dry while we use up our old supply and then be able to be used later. And we'll probably make some more for those jars of honey and garlic that I was telling you about too. But like I said too, I get to hang out with my son, get to have some nice fun time in the wild, get to supply something for the family, and I think it was time well spent. Don't you, boy?
Yeah.
Alright, so this is an example of one of our jars. You can see the honey's kind of more liquidy, full of garlic there. Definitely a lot more tasty. You want to show them how we like to do that? Yeah, so just raw garlic cloves and honey. How do they taste?
Good.
Right, he likes to eat these all the time. So definitely pretty cool. I'm gonna show Mama Pepper our little braid, and then we'll wrap this up. So we used to live up the hill from where we're at, and that used to be all the wild garlic in the woods. What do you think?
This is wonderful.
You remember how easy it is to husk too, right? You just rub it between your hands, it all comes off.
Yep.
Nice purple color, and soon we'll be on to that. We got to finish up some stuff we picked up in Mexico a little bit ago. We got 6 cloves left, but I don't know. Me and Monster Truck just took a walk up and figured we'd try to make some quick.
Awesome.
And we timed it right, because you got to go end of June, beginning of July here. And I'm not sure if this is, from somebody's garden originally, or if it's actually something wild, but it reproduces well on its own. We sowed a bunch of the little baby, like seed garlics all over the place up there. And there we go. We'll let it dry and use it in the kitchen soon enough.
All right.
Mama Pepper approved?
Approved.
Alright guys, so for us, it's just part of being aware of your surroundings, making use of things that will otherwise be overlooked. Nobody else is going to grab this stuff. If it would have went on for another 2 weeks, none of it would have been able to been pulled from the ground, and it would have had to been dug up. And if they're not even going to pull it from the ground, then other people usually aren't just going to dig it up either. So we got a pretty good harvest. We'll see if we go get some more or not. But it's time for some trivia. So from the last video, Quite a few people answered right about the rhinoceros beetle from North America, that monster truck helped me, and that it takes 2 years for them as a grub before the Eastern Hercules beetle turns into the Eastern Hercules beetle actually, and stops being a grub. But for this video, we're going to award the winner, pick one at random, and it's going to be Anytime Stories. Anytime Stories, you're the big winner. And there used to be Sally Beth 23. I have followed some of her posts on Steemit for quite some time now. Saw some of the videos that she's put out over the years too. Very interesting stuff. And right now with the Anytime Stories, for anyone who enjoys a good read of some children's stories, she's putting out videos right now where she just reads different children's stories. Recently I checked one out written by Beatrice Potter. So pretty cool. Anytime Stories, you win for the last trivia. For this video though, I've got 3 questions I'm going to be asking. If you guys know the answers, please leave them in a comment below, and I will be choosing one person who answers all of them correctly to give a shout out to in an upcoming video. So, pertaining to this garlic in this video, which country do we have a braid of garlic from that we still need to eat before we move on to this? Number 2, which little pepper came with me on this adventure? And number 3, what other food do we like to mix this garlic with and put it in a jar and wait a couple of months for it to be extra tasty and extra good for our bodies? If you guys know the answers to those questions, please leave them in a comment below. If not, feel free to check it out again. Open book test, but we'll see you next time. Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.